Wow. Thank you for coming to, even though nobody's here just yet, my first live video on YouTube. Exciting times. Wow. That means I've really made it in the world, apparently. Today we're just going to do a reading on an article, blog post article that was posted on the Resonance Science Foundation website, which I was having a very entertaining time going through because I like this kind of thing. If you're one who really likes to explore the boundaries of the frontier of the scientific world, then this is going to be for you. But if you're here just to cause a stir, create a ruckus, I'm going to out the door with you as quick as possible. If you are here of opposing views and would like to discourse, then absolutely, by all means, jump in and enjoy the conversation, as in order to do anything of accurate value, you need perspectives from as many different sources as possible. So as long as you're on that front, welcome. Mind the big bangs and stuff, no pun intended. Mind the bangs going on in the background. I just happen to live in the Wild West, so to speak, and there seems to be some fireworks going off in the background. I don't even know why. It's just like what? I don't even know what day it is. Wednesday night. Why not? Anyway, the article is titled, as a video is talking about, and is called "Is the JWST confirming Haramein's holographic solution to predicting that the universe is a black hole?" Now, it's a fascinating article. It does have some really cool images, and there's a small video there for reference. Like I say in my comments, I'll try to go through the video at a later date and upload the imagery into the video, so that way you can see it without having to go to the website. But if you would like to see the images or watch the video that they're referencing, which I'll get to in a minute, in the article, then the link for the article is in the description, comments, that part of the details. If you would like, of course, please share, subscribe, and do all that groovy stuff, because that's what we do, isn't it? Anyway, the article titled, as was said, this article is actually done by Dr. Inez Urdaneta, physicist at Resonance Science Foundation. In our RSF Resonance Science Foundation series concerning the vacuum catastrophe problem, or the 122 order of magnitude discrepancy between the vacuum energy density at the cosmological scale and quantum scale, and the solution provided by the generalized holographic approach, reference number 1, we marked that this solution, references are available in the article that is linked. We remarked that this solution to the vacuum catastrophe hinted into a very intriguing scenario, that our universe fulfills the condition of a black hole once you correctly calculate the contribution of the vacuum fluctuations that dark mass and dark energy account for. This theoretical prediction might nowadays be validated with the current observations of the James Webb Space Telescope, JWST. A recent video entitled "The Big Bang Was Wrong, We Live in a Black Hole," posted on YouTube, features Michio Kaku explaining why the recent observations of JWST are challenging what we know about the origin of the universe. Most of our mainstream astronomy and astrophysics may have to be rewritten. And that's the video that I referenced. It's a video by Future Unity is the channel, titled literally "The Big Bang Was Wrong, we live in inside a black hole." You can Google that out. It's got a picture of Mikio on the front of it with a nice black hole behind it going, "We were wrong." So yeah, check that out if you like. The main challenging observation from JWST is the detection of at least six huge galaxies up to 10 times bigger than our Milky Way, appearing at the time frames in the early universe, approximately 500 million years old after the Big Bang. Galaxy formation based on the Big Bang model require much larger timescales for these galaxies to form of many billions of years. The possibility that these are not galaxies but quasars is trim because their spectral signature does not coincide. Therefore, unless these galaxies happen to be some new extravagant condition that we're unaware of, that they should not be there. And the fact that they could be a clear indication that the Big Bang Theory no longer holds. I hope I pronounced this correctly. Ivo Labe from Swinburne University of Technology in Melbourne discovered these 6 galaxies, reference number 2 in the article, from JWST near infrared camera images that were released in July 2022. The objects detected show extreme redshift coming from stretched light from the expansion of the universe, implying that such light is about 700 million years old. Therefore, these galaxies formed very efficiently and fast in the early universe, defying the common view that galaxies start from very small sizes and they merge to form bigger galaxies in much longer periods of time. Additionally, these galaxies have much more mass than one available at that period, estimated by the CMB data, cosmic microwave background, and they have gone through numerous cycles of star formations. All 3 of these aspects contradict the current astronomical models. These galaxies host supermassive black holes, supermassive, that formed after the instant of creation, suggesting that maybe our universe was created by a gigantic black hole that collapsed into a larger cosmos in a nested configuration of black holes, one inside the other. In such a scenario, our universe evolved from a black hole in another universe, and this concept is said to be first introduced by Russian physicist Igor Novikov in 1973, though we have found references from other authors dating back to 1972, references 3 and 4 in the article. The possibility that the universe was a black hole is extremely relevant in the frame of the generalized holographic model and unified field theory developed by one Nassim Haramein and his research team here at Resonance Science Foundation. For the last 30 years, Haramein has been asserting that black holes are not only the precursors of galaxy formation, reference 5, reason why they precede the hosting galaxy, prediction that has been confirmed over the past 5 years. Read our Resonance Science articles, Black Holes Come First, Evidence of Black Holes Forming Galaxies, Galactic Engines, end bracket. Moreover, he also claimed that the universe itself is a black hole, and calculations from 2019, reference number 1, provide a theoretical framework to sustain such assertion. What exactly is a black hole? One of the most outstanding predictions made by the scientific theory is that of the singularities predicted by general relativity, in the context of this theory from Albert Einstein, a singularity refers to an extremely dense region of space. A mass that is compressed into a spherical volume becomes a singularity when it reaches a radius discovered by German physicist and astronomer Karl Schwarzschild, who proposed the simplest solution to Einstein's field equations of general relativity, that of an uncharged, static, spherical black hole. Though Schwarzschild's legacy goes far beyond his achievement, his career hides in the shadow of his own radius. Schwarzschild's radius, the first solution to Einstein's field equation, is a subheading. In 1915, the same year that Einstein first introduced general relativity, German physicist and astronomer Karl Schwarzschild provided the first exact solution to the Einstein field equations of general relativity for a spherical, non-rotating, and uncharged mass, reference number 6. Schwarzschild accomplished this while serving in the German army during World War One. He died the following year on May 11, 1916, from the autoimmune disease pemphigus, which presumably was genetic that he developed while at the Russian front. It gives the mathematical equation for Schwarzschild's solution to Einstein's equations, as well as a nice picture of Karl Schwarzschild sitting in the field, it seems. Using the field equations to calculate the gravitational effect of a single spherical body, such as a star, Schwarzschild found that if the mass is neither very large nor highly concentrated, the result will be the same as that given by Newton's theory of gravity. Therefore, Newton's theory is not incorrect. It is a valid approximation of general relativity under certain conditions. Schwarzschild also described a new effect. When the mass is concentrated into a vanishingly small volume, a singularity, gravity will become so strong that nothing that is pulled into the surrounding region can ever leave, not even light. In the rubber sheet analogy given in many dissemination articles, it is as if a tiny but very massive object creates a depression so steep that nothing can escape it, because it would absorb light and never emit any. This extreme space-time distortion would be invisible, and it was dubbed a black hole as such. Schwarzschild's result describes a sphere centered on a singularity whose radius is based on the density of the enclosed mass. Events within the sphere are presumed to be forever isolated from the rest of the universe for this reason. The Schwarzschild radius is called the event horizon, and the interior of a black hole is supposed to be inaccessible. Black holes were first thought to be a mathematical aspect of the theory with no real physical counterpart, even though more than a century earlier, in 1783, John Michell, Michell, one of Britain's leading scientists, had suggested that the surface gravity of some stars could be so strong that not even light could escape from them. Using contemporary ideas about gravity and light, Michell even calculated that a dark star with the mass of the sun would be just a few miles in diameter, matching the modern calculations for the size of a solar mass black hole. In 1963, Martin Schmidt discovered that an odd star-like point of light known as a quasar, named 3C273, is one of the most powerful objects in the universe. His finding leads to the realization that it and all quasars are powered by a supermassive black hole at the center of a galaxy. Below, you can see a real image of a quasar taken by the Chandra X-ray Observatory. Image in the link in the description. It's an image of quasar PKS 1127-145. Since then, astrophysicists have found more cosmic objects that contain such a dense concentration of mass in a small volume. Among these black holes are the one at the center of the Milky Way galaxy, which is Sagittarius A, and certain binary stars that emit X-rays as they orbit each other. Using the Event Horizon Telescope, we have been able to construct the first direct image of a black hole at the center of the galaxy M87, which lies some 55 million light years away from the Earth. And this image has been actualized with the new detailed shot from the Event Horizon Telescope, revealing spiraling lines of mysterious magnetic force as shown below. Again, images in the article provided by the link in the description. The source images, however, come from Britannica.com. Link is in the article. Nowadays, black holes are a common object of study, and they have been found at the center of most galaxies. Their size is directly related to the size of the hosting galaxy, a fact that would make sense if the black hole was the creator of the galaxy, just as Nassim Haramein predicted more than 30 years ago. The holographic mass and Schwarzschild's mass. Subheading. The holographic principle as described by Birkenstein and T. Hooft considers the information contained in the surface of a black hole taken as a spherical system, but where the unit of tilling is a square of Planck size. Exploring this holographic principle further along with the maximal entropy of the black hole, reference number 7 in the link in the article, Haramein proposes a generalized holographic approach in terms of both the surface and volume entropies of a spherical system, using a sphere as a first-order approximation for the system under consideration. The first results he obtained have proven this geometry to be a very good assumption, as we will resume hereafter. Haramein's generalized holographic model is based on the fundamental holographic ratio. It's golden mean symbol. They, to my understanding, reference the golden mean symbol to be not to be the golden mean equation or the equivalent of the golden mean, but are just using that to in a new definition. And the new definition is that of the holographic ratio as described in the generalized holographic paper published by Haramein and crew. A steady state calculation representing an equilibrium energy exchange rate, like the kinetic constant in a chemical reaction, only that in Haramein's approach, it represents the energy or information transfer potential between the surface and the volume. This fundamental holographic ratio between the two, the surface and the volume, has been determined for cosmological objects and quantum particles as well, and when brought to mass units, accounts for the mass of the object taken as spherical as a first approximation. If you know your stuff, that's first approximations are big shit. I mean, big stuff. To account for the energy content in the system under consideration, Haramein defines a spherical volume unit with Planck length diameter and Planck mass, named Planck spherical unit, or PSU for short, with Planck energy density of 10 to the power of 93 grams per centimeter cubed. These PSUs, or Planck spherical units, stand for the vacuum energy density at the Planck scale. The vacuum fluctuations energy density by voxelating the interior of the object with these PSUs and pixelating the surface area by the equatorial disk of the PSU that represents one bit or a bit of information as well. Haramein defines a volume energy or information entropy content and a surface energy content, respectively. Both quantities are non-dimensional, and the ratio between surface and volume information content becomes the fundamental holographic ratio, which is the golden mean symbol again. That's a circle with a line through it, which is basically a ratio of radii. As the figure below shows, the image can be contained in the can be found in the article, as is linked in the description. As the figure below shows, this surface to volume entropy of a spherical system gives a holographic ratio obtained by tiling the surface and filling the volume of such a spherical system with the Planck spherical units, or PSUs. The Planck mass in a Planck spherical volume of Planck radius, Planck length divided by 2, which are units of energy density at the Planck scale. Semi-easy to understand image. When this relation between radii is calculated for a quantum object such as the proton, we obtain the mass of the proton with experimental accuracy by multiplying the fundamental ratio by the Planck mass. Okay, pause. By utilizing this method, we have figured out the size of a proton, as is proven through many experiments around the world. In fact, it's one of the leading and most accurate methods of finding the size of a Planck, not of a Planck, of a proton. Now that, without conducting any experimentation, just coming to that based on what's referred to earlier, first principles, i.e. basic mathematics, is pretty freaking phenomenal and a lot cheaper than huge hadron colliders and such. Equivalently, by knowing the mass of the proton, one can compute its charge radius. It is extremely relevant that Haramein's calculation predicted the new and most accurate charge radius of the proton in 2012. The end of the world. And even before it had been measured that accurately, even before it had been measured that accurately in 2013, references 8, 9, and 10 contained in the article. This all is part of the proton puzzle that we have addressed in a former article titled Co-Data, Proton Charge Radius, the History of the Fundamental Measurement, link in the article. When this holographic ratio was later calculated for the electron and then multiplied by the Planck mass, Haramein obtained the electron mass. Yeah, just playing around with mathematics. There it is. With experimental precision, reference number 11 in the article. With the inverse of this holographic ratio, i.e. R over N, applied to a black hole, the mass of the black hole can be computed, reference number 9, through the equation. The equation is listed here. I'll let you see that if that's your thing, where M is the Planck mass and the subscript H means that this mass has been obtained through the holographic solution. We shall therefore refer to this mass as the holographic mass. The generalized holographic model offers an equation for the mass of a black hole in terms of the volume to surface geometric ratio, for which only the Planck mass M1 or Mi, the Planck radius Ri, and the radius of the black hole are required non-trivially. MH equals 1 over holographic mass ratio multiplied by M1 gives the same numerical value as the mass Ms in the equation for Schwarzschild radius solution to Einstein's field equations for a non-rotating and uncharged black hole, which is Ms equals Rs C2 over bracket 2G bracket. Now, if you're one who likes to do these types of equations and you're still adamantly fundamentally against Haramein and his proposed solutions, I suggest you pull out the papers and do the equations yourself because they seem to be pretty spot on. The equivalence MH equals MS has remarkable implications. It means that space-time is quantized with very small granular structure of the Planck